something that, have to keep an eye on as well.
CLOUD9 to kick things off on the defense side, and already out of position. Only Killjoy, they're waiting for the push to come into play, and Renegades already taking A control, but Mitch on the approach taking down Retro. At least we'll keep them honest, and now he can play for the post plans. They can play for the retake. Mitchum with another one. That frenzy ripping Renegades to shreds. And now all the utility can get tossed towards the back of the site, banking the grenade off the wall. The paint shells won't get the frag because Mitch comes in and cleans it up, and it all falls down to CP2 on the wrong side of the dark cover. Really no hope at stopping this. And it does get diffused underneath his nose. Excellent retake for CLOUD9. CP2 at least will take...
Vince, not many people would have recognized you, I think. But it is indeed Vince, as we are going to see the quick take from Retro on Jet, dashing through here, looking to burst onto the site, and they have indeed found space, but First Blood's gone to TenZ, as they put a lot of mid-focus here on CLOUD9. They really took control of that and kind of just played for the retake on B, and they will have the huge advantage because of that.
Fault line through, no one is tagged in the process, but again, remember, this is a bonus for CLOUD9. Renegades have got to get their teeth and sink it into this round. Gotta keep that economy down. Oh, the boom bot destroying Shinobi. Had two players to contend with as well. Paint shells are out, forces TenZ back a little bit more. Here's the one player with the rifle, and now he is the last player alive. Still all of his HP intact. Headshot comes through, gets 2 kills, which is really impressive considering he should have...
Defense out of place.
30 seconds left.
Randy gets the entry we were looking for. It's Vice that goes peeking. Getting punished. Great flashpoint from CP2. Yields the kill into TenZ, who was low. 20 seconds. Mitch, with 26 HP to his name, will get his third of the round and could be in for more, but Relyks takes it away from him.
They've also got players in location by screens, and so it's going to be a wide-open B-bomb site. Vice will, of course, hear this. He'll have to back off, though, and try to set up for the retake and Killjoy. But randyysavage, he might be able to cut off these rotations. He's definitely hearing them trounce over to B-heaven.
This is a masterful tactic from Renegades, and CLOUD9 have bit down hard. But can they stand their ground now that they've got the post plant? Because Mitch is in fine form, and he is delivering so many fatal blows, gets caught and reload, and Retro punishes him. They have low players, and Relyks maybe can do a little bit of damage, trying to bypass the turret that loads missile falls into security, but randyysavage with a 3-2 split. But they are going to be tested well and truly. That is from the shadows being nullified and cancelled. Gets intel though for it. And Mitch goes in for the re-peek on low HP, maybe anticipating that there could be some utility firing his way, and the opportunistic peek nearly works out for him. Vice, the meanwhile, holds on. Retro gets pummeled. It will be a case of getting returned on though from Winsum, and now with those kills and the damage that's been inflicted, Renegades can start to push onto the site, and there's not too much defense there to fend them off.
It really wasn't. No one was really playing the site. And again, you're seeing Renegades kind of using some of CLOUD9's weapons against them, but hold the phone because that Rolling Thunder has done excellent work. Shinobi off the back of it with the hat trick, Vince, that came out of nowhere. Watch Lurks. And it was looking like they were doing that really well to open up B, but then, man, that Rolling Thunder retake was just on point.
Well, they're going to counter that disappointment with some ruthless aggression in this. Retro that goes in first, may get caught from the side, though Shinobi was waiting the off angle. Baits out his teammate to perfection. randyysavage posts up one, and CP2 follows in. Flashpoint to the back of the side, trying to force away the defenders. But Renegade will have to battle back from a player behind.
Oh. Berghy there with the from the shadows, makes it over to B, takes down the turret and puts the spike down. The problem is his support has been cut off at middle. Now he must clutch this alone 1 versus 3.
That's full HP. Has 1 dark cover to play with. It has to come down to timing. Great headshot onto Relyks, but now his position is compromised. They know exactly where Berghy resides. They have to cross, though, if they want to get to the spike. Oh my god! Berghy lines them up, knocks them down, and they're in dire straits. And they will know it. Fault line thrown into the mix, and a good dark cover alongside Paranoia will stave CLOUD9's aggression off, and then Berghy goes in for the peak. It's more utility tossed in. And Renegades, they did put a lot of their emphasis, a lot of their focus over on the middle side. They've given up A as a result, but with a player to the good, you would have to favor them in the retake. And the post plant hasn't even came in just yet.
No, it's been planted a little bit late here. Like you said, they put emphasis on stopping the default from being able to get mid-control. But it's really set them up with the advantage and go for this retake. Shinobi, though, trying his damnedest with his teammates to see if they can't hold off the line. They've been able to get a couple here, 2 versus 3, but Shinobi severely wounded here towards a Ranson, really being isolated from his teammate.
Isolated, but Vice is still chipping in with frags. They're going for that defusal in amongst the cloud burst, and it will be a success. Renegades are fans of surprises. CLOUD9.
Watch for the Omen smoke placement from CLOUD9. If you see it towards wood, it's one up. Yep, here it is.
Put in. There's a satchel, but Retro, he knows exactly what's coming up, and he's having none of it. TenZ, though, straight through with the Vandal, taking his head off. Although CLOUD9 now do have much better weaponry than their last round, they are falling apart at the seams. Vice, though, trying to put it back together again. He's stitching the kills together. He's connecting the dots, connecting headshots, and now CP2 on the flank may get the drop on the first of the weakened Vice, but he doesn't know where that second player is. Flashpoint comes out. Right idea, wrong timing.
Freely rotate, and all it does is allow B-Heaven to be even more vulnerable. It's just the 2 defenders on the side itself, and the rotation's going to be a ways off, and TenZ doing a great job holding those 8 players in place.
Rolling Thunder has been dispersed, and now Renegades realize they are completely out of position. Relyks alongside Shinobi get the entries that they were desperately looking for, and even though time is of the essence, they put enough down to make this round theirs. Mitch is still alive, somehow, someway, with the classic 3 bullets in the magazine and baiting out Winsum, who then gets sprayed out.
Just being the retake option with their Rolling Thunder. From the shadows has been locked, but it got information for CLOUD9 to go ahead and pounce here through B-Heaven and even exchange, but still CLOUD9 ahead overall. But Retro changes that with Jet, a great reaction.
A great reaction that forces CLOUD9 back again. They wanted to try and hit B via the rafters, via the tower. That tower has collapsed, it's been demolished. Mitch, in the meanwhile, gets tanked by the turrets. They now completely understand the situation, Renegades. But how is their aim? Can it step up to the mark? Mitch has been in some fine form. It was an absolute beast in the first half and has very much continued that, but the Rolling Thunder stuns them both down, locking them into position. It's about to fade, though, and that ultimate's not going to do a great deal other than deny the plan, and it could be good enough just to win the round outright. No, he gets it in time, but it forces him away from the action, effectively separates it into 2 separate 1v3s, and Renegades will be successful, but they...
All their players here, and he's going to soon find out what he's up against, and it'll be down to whether or not he can get a shot and get away and give his team an advantage.
If they slow peek this, though, he should be favored to get the kill, but Relyks still takes his head off. Retro was there for so long.
30 seconds left.
And how important could that moment be? This could be the beginning of the end. Renegades will be stuck at screens again, with CLOUD9 getting up close. From the shadows has been popped. Omen trying to get around the back. And as the spike gets planted, ult line is good, but so is Vice's aim. Winsum now from the backside. He's spraying them down, goes in for the defuse. Already half of it is done. He's going to stick onto this. He can keep going. No one's there to deal with him, and he'll get the clutch single-handedly.
Oh, they just popped the nano fence up from taking this map away from CLOUD9 yet again. They've done this once before, but in the past. Can they do it here and now? They're so close.
Aggression this time. Renegades will have to try and deal with a post plant on A, or will they? Winsum again with 2. This guy is in unreal form right now. Spike does get planted down, though. Shinobi puts it into position. Berghy, his opposite Omen, making moves through on the screens. Joined alongside Breach. How is your utility, Renegades? Can you get it on point? They look to push in. Dark covers, paranoia is being traded. CP2 goes in for 1. Berghy traded out, and it comes down to a 1-on-1. Renegades could potentially take this. Relyks holds his nerve. He has been spotted in this position, but still flicks in for the headshot and keep... Not going to write Renegades off, though. They have done such a great job to get to this point. Winsum has been a man on fire, banking the paint shells off the wall, but no one's home. They haven't quite pushed it just yet. Blue got behind it, and now he peeks in, but there's so many players to deal with. randyysavage, though, holds his nerve in sheets, getting 2 pretty clear, comfortable frags, and doing tons of damage to Relyks, who has been top fragging in the last few rounds for CLOUD9. Longer range incursion. Randyysavage goes in again. This time it's the flashpoint, but TenZ comes straight in with the shotgun and riddles him with bullets. The buckshot will sting. Flashpoints being traded out. Dark cover tossed into the bottleneck, and now retrQ can try and play actively. And CP2 goes in. It's a 2v1, and Renegades successful again. We continue in overtime.
Yeah, I have to say, Renegades did a great job there defending against that initial ramp push. You know, Winsum, CLOUD9 are well and truly going to probably pounce on the safe side and be very successful unless this flank comes in fast enough from spawn.
Randyysavage needs to pull off a miracle play, and Relyks is having none of it. He dampens any potential magic. Berghy up in heaven, bypassing the fault line and dealing with Mitch in the process. Post plant, 3-on-3. Renegades have won so many of the fault line is excellent. And retrQ making tons of noise. It's actually the aftershock that takes down Relyks. What happened there? He was in amongst the smoke. I think he was completely caught off guard by that. And now Renegades have a golden opportunity to go straight for it. And Shinobi falls to the first hurdle. And it's Berghy with a 4K. Comes alive again. And Renegades continue to press forward.
Yeah, I mean, I really thought that CLOUD9 was about to win it there. They did a great job of Bias getting the kill into a heavy attack, it seems. All 5 here. CLOUD9 will at least push B lobby and kind of realize what's going on.
All the non-forms, all the killjoy damage from Mitch. 2 go his way. Randyysavage at least returns the favor. Relyks now at the back of the site, changing his angles up, trying to stay alive as long as possible. But Randyysavage, he is just ripping straight through CLOUD9. It's another one. It's a 3K, and it should be a map point to follow for Renegades. Vice is dodging, dipping, and darting past each and every ability that flies his way, but finally gets caught from the flashpoint. And with that alongside the lockdown, Randyysavage.
All their numbers here now into males. They're looking to pounce on this B site.
CLOUD9 mixing it up again. It's going to be a lot of presence shown on Raptors. Great flashpoints tossed in from CP2, and retrQ makes the most of them. Relyks though through the box comes in for one of its own, and Vice goes back in, but retrQ's picked up a 3K. Mitch though disperses him, and it will be a post plant coming up. There is no way of denying this. Renegades at least get up close and personal though on the retake. Boombot straight out dealing with the underactive position, but Mitch straight through with the drive-by headshot. It's all down to Mitch against 33 HP Winsum, who goes up close with the shotgun and actually neutralizes Mitch. Renegades will take first blood in this best of 3.
With 3 HP to spare too, Vince, it doesn't get closer than that. All the extra rounds, all the back and forth with the Rays after performance on Split. So that is one little difference, I suppose. We are going to see Winsum looking to take some point here through the smoke at the door. He won't get the frag, will support Berghy in doing so, and they will take the man advantage. They are holding up this cat push really well at the boom bot. Boom! Winsum uses it to his advantage there, but now we see CLOUD9 able to fight back, get this fight down, and have the 3-on-3 post play.
Having to deal with it though on very low HP. CLOUD9 hemorrhaging on a few players. Shinobi using the dark cover, hiding in the cubby. It's TenZ that's down to 21. Phenomenal player. Aftershock will not be affecting him at all, but he will get caught in the crossfire of CP2, making moves from upper, now looking downstairs, and getting the headshot with Randysavage's frenzy. Coming good for the last, they stick it together, and Renegades will get the successful defuse on top of it. First blood again goes their way.
But other than that, what you're going to see is a pretty standard explosive attack on B.
Explosive attack is propagated by a flashpoint, but Randyysavage with the Spectre holds his nerve. Adds some backup. Randyysavage apparently doesn't need any backup. He's the one-man wrecking crew. It's a 4K, and Winsum cleans up the rest.
They're on defensive spawn, and indeed they will even maybe look to backstab and try to pinch onto B, depending on what Relyks can do with this Vandal. But it seems like they're aware that this is a possibility. retrQ had the judge up close, and it has struck down a sentencing. Will now push over the Vandal to continue to put CLOUD9 into the prison on the scoreboard here. Vice trying to fight back in the back hall. They have never really placed that well in a big event, and now they're on their way to perhaps the biggest of all.
That's what we were looking to see from TenZ, though. A brief glimpse of what this guy is capable of. First blood in this round, at least. Does go his and Cloud9's way. And maybe the magic of the tactical timeout will come into fruition. Mitch, up close. Thinking about peeking, decides better of it. That may be allowing retrO a bit of safe passage a little bit further. Again, just making sure the cubby is dealt with, but retrO goes in for the wide swing and takes him down for his troubles, evening the score up in terms of manpower, and now Cloud9 have got to get a move on again.
Indeed, they do. Vi still able to catch Berg. That's going to be pretty big, stopping that mid push there from Renegades. It allows them to have easier time getting into that B site. Alt will and further ensure it there from Shinobi. And so this looks like finally a chance for Cloud9 to have a good victory. They have man advantage, they have side control, they're all pretty healthy.
Spike planted.
This should be going their way. They cannot afford to drop this round.
Blade Storm being picked up on both players, but it's retrO in midair that takes the first one down. And it's TenZ that's on the receiving end. Back up again with the updrift. Winsum comes in with two. It's a showstopper in the paint shells. And Renegades 3v4 retake goes their way.
Oh my god, Vince. That was freaking sick what retrO just did. He literally... They need to salvage something in this attacking half. This is one of their most successful attacking halves they have in their pool. And again, their economy is in tatters. CP2, though, he'll open up things with the operator there on his Sova. Gets the 5-on-4. Time is still plenty for Cloud9. Now they have some headway up towards Tree. Looks like they will once again claim the A site. It'll all be about whether or not they can hold off the retake. As this spike will start getting planted. Randy gets past the paint shell. Can he break this back open? Indeed he can.
Showstoppers being picked up, and randyysavage takes off the head of Relyks just before he pulls the trigger. An even trade 1-for-1, but will favor Renegades. Dark cover put down towards main, fending off and isolating, segregating the two remaining Cloud9 players. The pitch feels compelled to go on aggressive before Winsum spins around against both of them. And yet again, we've been here before so many times, Dust. It's another post plant. It's another successful retake for Renegades.
An incredible story.
A fairy tale ending, perhaps, for Cloud9. Very capable of pulling this back. It's been the nature that they've lost that's been a worry, though, but Mitch is using that dark cover as a bit of sanctuary, and now he can show his hand with a frenzy, but too many of his teammates fell around him. Not enough to build off. Cloud9, 2v3 retake, spike gets planted. TenZ in with the first, they need CP2 to have some impact, and he's missed his shots! And now it's all on Berghy, 80 HP to his name. And a potential hero play forthcoming. Or not, TenZ gets a 4K, and CP2 will be looking at that round and thinking, what if? What if I land my first shot onto TenZ? That could have been their round.
Indeed, it could. Up a little bit heavier towards B lobby. TenZ does get to line position, however, and is not going to get found out at all. That's an easy one there for TenZ.
One enemy remaining.
Closing that gap. It's going to be a B burst play coming out of Renegades this round. They don't have the flashes on a breach to really help them, though. That's the big thing that they're missing on this attack, but it may not matter. It's a great sheriff kill on the TenZ.
That's a nutty frag, but retrO has been instantly capitalized on. So that's the Blade Storm that's taken with him. It gets nullified, and that was a big part of this push. And with his loss of life, it's unlikely too much will follow. I say that as 2 kills come back, but then Relyks
Going in again, Vince, and they're going fast.
Still have that Hunter's Fury. Winsum, in amongst all the cloud bursts, is coming out with frags alongside Shinobi, who gets 2 of his own. Renegades, 2v3. Faking the spike, trying to draw out one of those Cloud9 players into the open, but there are flashes coming in from the shadows. Has been popped to the other side of the map. It's on B, and Sova's still alive. This is winnable for Renegades. Cloud9 in trouble. Post-plant, does Berghy take the aggression? He does, and he puts out the head of Relyks. And with that kill, he can now move back into market, change up his angles. He goes down to the hand of Mitch. A Hunter's Fury still available, is now being popped, tries to stall it for as long as possible, anticipating a play is forthcoming as they stick onto the spike. The shots will not connect, and CLOUD9 with
in the yards as well, and they are one away from pulling off a massive upset, Vince. This could be it now. This could be massive.
This is for all the chips, all the marbles, the potential huge upsets on the cards, but not if TenZ and shinobi have something to say about it. Randyysavage in with one, make it two, and CLOUD9 are being dispersed post-haste. A cage triggered on top of the rafters allows Randyysavage the opportunity for spike plants. And now CLOUD9 have got to battle back somehow, some way. Make this work, it's an even trade. Vice and Berghy both chip in for frags, but now Relyks, a man that was destructive on split, has got to try and clutch this one out. Two very separate angles to deal with. The isolation may not work for him, but the showstopper comes into play. Looking around Cubby, he's desperate for information, checking everywhere but where CP2 resides, and the head